Hello, everybody. It's Kristina Dennis, the Transformational Self-Empowerment Master, and I am so excited to be here on Monday morning. And I was still struggling about an hour ago with something that happened to me this morning. I was up and at it. I took got my son ready, sent my partner to his job. Cleaned the house, ran 4 miles, blah, 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 got it all done. And then I started heading down to an appointment with a professional. And it's one of those places where you go to be taken care of, and it's vulnerable. And I got on the freeway probably about 5 minutes late, and I ended up seeing through my navigation that I was going to be 15 minutes late. So I called the office. I kept hoping that I would catch up, and I wasn't catching up. And so about, I'd say 5 minutes, 8 minutes, I guess, till the time. And the reason I'm being so specific is because of the decision that was made. I called and said, you know what, I'm running late. I am on my way. I'm not going to be able to be there right on time. I apologize. My appointment is supposed to be started 5 minutes ago, and I'm 3 exits up. And the receptionist said, well, if you're 15 minutes late, we could choose to cancel your appointment, which irritated me because in this particular field, I always wait for them. When I go to these kinds of offices to get healthcare, I'm always waiting. I don't know anybody who's actually been brought in on time. And so, and I have a little bit of fear because of everything that I went through with my son. And also, I believe because of the lack of care I had as a child. So there's always a little trauma whenever I'm trying to take care of myself. And so I said, well, I'm going to be arriving exactly at 15 minutes late. I've already been on the road almost 40 minutes in what should have taken me, 30. And I'd like to know before I get out of my car and run up whether or not you're going to cancel the appointment. So she went and checked with this professional. I've seen her a couple of times, and they decided not to see me. And I was really disappointed, incredibly disappointed, because it didn't show a lot of grace to me. And it's really not, I don't know, I guess if you live in Southern California, there are things that just happen on the freeways. And in their life, I'm assuming that they believe we should be early and that their time is valuable. And I get all of that. My time is also valuable, and I was choosing to drive quite a ways to get to this person because I thought I had a personal connection, and I didn't. It doesn't seem like I did. For whatever reason, the decision was made this morning not to see me, and I was really surprised at my reaction. I said, oh, that's disappointing. She said, you'll need to reschedule. I said, I won't, because I have made a practice of, if it's not going to work within my lifestyle, I'm a special needs mom who has a full-time gig and does a lot of things on the side and works with a lot of people. And I live in Southern California, and I'm not always going to be where I need to be right at the moment. And I find it rough. Without grace, it's confusing to me, especially if I'm sitting in the waiting room waiting multiple times. So I said, I won't. And the person, okay, thank you, and hung up. I'm not sure she even recognized that I was saying, I won't be back. And I left, and I wanted to make up so many stories about how wrong that was, that they made that decision. And, it's their business. She can decide who she wants to see at what time. She can decide what kind of patient she wants. I also can decide what kind of person I'm going to go to seek healthcare. And really hard for me in this arena, because of what I've been through, and because I don't believe all the time that my value is there, because I'm afraid that I'm a bad girl if somebody decides that what I did was not appropriate or not going to work for them, how quickly I went to the anger, the judgment, the unprocessed feelings about, well, who do they think they are? And then who do I think I am? And who do they think I am? And I really struggled, because there are other places I can go. There are many places I can go and get guidance and help. And why was it? What were the things that factored into this personal feeling? Well, one, I was rushed. I was tired. I was busy. Two, I felt shame immediately. And I am wondering how many of us feel this way in our lives. where we know the response to what's the person's decision they've made when they've set a boundary or chosen not to see you, or well, for whatever reason they made their decision based on their circumstances going on in their life that is so personal to me that they would do that. Well, one, I thought I had a different relationship. And so clearly this is a gift to me to know up front. I've only seen this person a few times, that isn't the case, that is an office that doesn't have a lot of grace for tardiness. And I am not somebody who can always be right there, especially on a freeway. So that's good to know up front versus continuing to build some kind of rapport with this person and then realizing I'm not going to actually be able to get what I need ultimately. The second thing is to realize that I am in charge of my own life. I'm in charge of my own care. And that means I can choose to go somewhere else. And also whatever they decided to do for themselves is not a result. It was not in reaction to the slight or the offense of me being tardy. It was a reaction to whatever was going on in their lives, and I have no idea what that story is. So, I have my reaction. I kept my my response professional and polite. I said thank you, and I turned around and drove another 30 minutes home. Well, yeah, almost 40. So I still seething and still feeling really bad, like I had done something wrong. And I know this is all about last week and everything that was coming up in me and all of the different feelings being on this platform, sharing very vulnerably who I am and what I feel certain times. I know that feelings are not always true for everyone. Like I might believe that this person is just being really insensitive and unkind, and she may know that there's somebody that she needs to take more time with up down the road. I don't know. What I do know is that I can go back and do self-care. I can listen to things that will help me bring back the messages that I need to bring, which is really important. Despite the ability to not see me, I'm really, the rejection is not personal. Often rejection is God's protection, and that I need to look at some place that may be a little more convenient for me, that has a little more flexibility if things do occur and I can't get there right at the time. The other things that were leading up to this that the receptionist and possibly the practitioner didn't know was that I had tried 4 different appointment times when I made the appointment. And this was the one time that was going to work. And so maybe I need to find an office that has more options for me. I can go and change this, but the shame and the embarrassment or the automatic response of defensiveness is stuff that I have to work on for me. And it's stuff that I have to work on for this world. And I'm already feeling a little embarrassed, like people are going to watch this video and be like, wow, that's what you want to complain about? It isn't. My head knows that I'm going to be okay. My head always knows that I'm going to be okay. I've made it through 100%. I made it through 100% of the time, the tough things that have happened. I made it through a lot of things that were really, really difficult. So my head knows that I'm going to make it through, just like you probably know that you're going to make it through. It's the feelings that we can't get to and we can't understand that can put us in a funk. And it took a good hour or so for me to replace those thoughts, to choose to act as if I'm okay, to choose to take care of myself, take a nice long shower. I had rushed, out without a shower to get to this appointment, to finish what I need to do the self-talk and the self-care, which is way more important than me being bad. I mean, it's way more positive and way more effective than me being angry at the other person for setting a boundary that I didn't like, or turning it inwards and thinking, wow, I am a piece of shit. Look at that. I think everybody should be there for me. I mean, I could just hear all of the things flying in and flying out and flying in and flying out. And also a little grace to say, yes, I get scared when it comes to medical appointments, and I get nervous and I feel really vulnerable. And this isn't necessarily the right relationship for me because I need to be attending or going with somebody that is more catered to that. And in that way, I can look at this as a gift. So I don't, And as far as empowering behavior and empowerment, the idea that I could pull myself out of that and not let it ruin my day, the idea that I can come here and share very openly about, wow, this is how my brain feels sometimes, and this is what my feelings are, and this is what I chose to do instead of sit in it for a while. I chose to acknowledge it, give myself a little grace, think about all the things that I thought, the stories that I made up, and choose to move forward with the action, which is way more important than the story I'm making up. I hope that is helpful to people who are watching this. Hello, sweetie. How you doing, Missy Rebecca? And I hope that you will look at your own life and think about and challenge some of the stories that you make up. Challenge some of the responses that come your way. We can't go out in this world unprotected when we're first starting out. You know, you don't give the keys to your car to your 3-year-old. You know, we don't put ourselves in dangerous situations. But as we continue to do this transformational self-empowerment work, and we start looking at things that we can change, you know, mind hacks, exercises, writing, grieving, doing all the things that need to happen in order for us to move through some of these periods, we can live a lot more peaceful, and our turnaround can be a lot faster. Not always responsible for the first thought that comes in my head. Some of it was, you know, some of these techniques and skills and mindsets that I've had were what kept me alive. But I am now responsible for the second thought and how I respond to things. And so today, I felt a little disappointed. I felt a little rejected. I felt like somebody didn't care about me. I wasn't getting the right things. Things weren't fair. Well, that all goes back to the way I was raised. And I need to go in and challenge that. And, you know, I had that dream last week about my grandfather and how I had disappointed him. I had issues with an associate this weekend that I met. There are things that I need to look at. And the first thing is to share about it in a safe forum. And the second thing is to know that the answers will come because I'm willing to seek them. I'm willing to be uncomfortable for growth. I'm willing to admit things to myself that are not pretty and not 100% perfect. And hopefully that allows me to have attachments to people that are deeper, because I'm letting you know who I really am. And I want to know who you really are. So have a great day. And I look forward to hearing from people. And like I said, if you're not going to do it publicly, please PM me, because I'm happy to talk about any subject that you may find interesting and want to discuss. All right, everybody have a great day. Love you.